Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series. In the last episode, we delved into the subway system to find our way to a local lab here. We came across more monster density than I was sort of expecting. We found quite a few ferals living down here in the darkness, that was pretty cool. We also came across some Cyclops mutants, also pretty cool. And then we found some scientist zombies. It was at this point that we realized that there had been a massive CBM change which removed CBMs from every single zombie in the game except for cyborgs. And I don't know how much came across in the video, but I was very salty about this. I'm just so frustrated with kind of the end game of Cataclysm right now. And if you're interested in hearing more about that, I do talk about that in the experimental Cataclysm from the last week. You should go back and check that out. That would be the one dated Monday the 26th of July. And now we're going to jump back into it. Hello Internet. We are going to be breaking into this lab here. This is going to require some effort. Now the main issue we've had so far is that we only brought one battery for our flashlight, which was, in hindsight, a major mistake. We're going to have to source some light batteries from inside the lab. I suspect we will be able to do that, hopefully no problem. But that is the current issue that I'm seeing for things. Let's drop some of this other stuff from our inventory. And we're going to be using a jackhammer to access this lab here. Heard shuffling. Yeah, we're going to hear a lot of that. So what I suspect will happen, I have not been in a subway lab in quite a long time, and they have been changed since I was last here, so I don't know what to expect. However, I do expect a fair bit of monster density. I imagine there's probably some lab security in there. I know Wist, so Wist is a dev member, I believe is working on lab content, so there may be some new stuff in here that we've never seen before. I mean, I'm pretty interested to get in here, and there can be CBMs in here. So, and we should touch on that a bit. Let's grab our jackhammer and start working on this. So when we crack this open, there's going to be a lot of monsters that come out to bother us. In fact, why don't we push our stuff back so that it's not at risk of being destroyed as we work on these on this wall here. So let's pull this back. Does this lab have lights? Do these lights work? They do. So we're not going to need our flashlight at the moment either. We're going to go ahead and drop that here. We'll keep that in our inventory, actually, in second thought here. So we actually have lights here, which means we don't have to worry too much. Now, I did see someone post on Discord that there is a new creature down here that I've never seen before. That is some version of a shady zombie, basically. It's invisible in the darkness, and I looked into it because I'd never heard of this creature or seen it before. And it seems incredibly dangerous, and very likely it would really rip us to shreds. And they have incredible ballistic armor, so shooting them is not an option. We would have to melee this creature. So it's a bit of a tricky situation because I want to have my gun in my hand for when we crack this open, but the jackhammer obviously takes up our hands, so we can't do that. And then additionally, if one of those things comes out of the darkness, we need to be able to melee it. So I want both my gun and my spear to be very easily accessible. You know what? We'll pull these back as well. That way we can fall back to this position once we've cracked the thing open. There should be a rebar cage when we break down the wall, so I imagine there will be some brief respite before we actually get in here, because we'll have to break the cage, or the zombies will have to break the cage to escape. Should give us time to retreat, grab our weapons, but this is, kind of new territory for me, so this could be very dangerous. So let's jackhammer in here. So with these CBM changes, they're just, in my opinion, not viable at the moment. They've been removed from all zombie harvests except for cyborgs, and I just don't foresee me finding any cyborgs. With the science lab nerfs that we've talked about previously, we know that there are just not that many places to get CBMs anymore, and I'm kind of salty about it. I feel like they are ruining the end game. And it's really rare that I say things like that. You know, I'm a big fan of the dev team. I generally will support them as best I can. That's our first gunshot in this area, so it's possible there may be some enemies that come up from the south here after hearing the gunshots. So we need to be mindful of that. And again, oh, there they go. One of them is a shocker, which is real bad because they're going to be able to zap us through the wall. And we're going to have a hard time hitting them. What is this thing? A small slime. Well, that's not a huge concern. Yeah, so what I expect from this lab is very little value. We're going to find probably mostly chemistry equipment. Maybe we'll find some mutagen, and if we're really lucky, we might find a CBM or two. But honestly, these labs are terrible. As far as I'm aware, all the other labs in the game fail to compare to the old science labs that we're used to exploring, which is part of why I feel like the end game is broken, because there's just nowhere to go to get that stuff anymore, and that is a problem. I expect to find a lot of monster density and not a lot of loot, so this place is probably going to be annoying to clear, but once we get in there, hopefully we find one or two things of value. Now the shocker is a bummer because it can zap us through the rebar cage, and really these other creatures stacked up on each other, they're going to be able to get through the cage anyway, so we need to prepare to fall back. And we will start shooting really as soon as possible. Am I out of ammunition? I'm not. Why can't I shoot? Why can't I shoot you? Why is it not auto-targeting? Well, you zapped me. Ignore. Where did the electricity go? We don't know. What does the message say? Zombie scientist. A bolt of electricity arcs towards the manhack. Are they hostile to manhacks? That would be great. If it made that a little bit harder for them to come at us. If they, you know, were briefly distracted by the manhacks, I would be perfectly fine with that. They do seem to be heading south. I'm not sure what the reasoning for that is. And my aim is not functioning the way it normally does. When I press F, it's not auto-selecting the nearest enemy, and when they move, it is removing my aim from that creature. I'm not sure what the point of that is or why that is happening. Let's step closer so we can actually hit the security man. And again, we need to be really mindful of that shocker. As soon as that shocker shows up in our field of vision, we need to fall back out of its range so we don't get zapped. Hazmat and scientist, neither of you are particularly tough. So we'll put a bullet in each of you. Maybe some of you will bleed to death before it's really an issue. Did you two shift places? You did. Stunned and heavy bleeding. My bullet stunned him. That's interesting. You're bleeding. You're not. So we'll pop around in you as well. And again, they do have the strength required to break down this barricade. It is a rebar cage. Does not seem to have a sprite. Someone asked me to call out sprites when I see that they don't have a sprite. And I mentioned that the railway here, obviously these do not have sprites, and they said that's actually been merged. I just haven't updated my game. Or my tile set, so that would be why. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think the Cyclops creatures that we saw previously had sprites either, so if you're listening to this, that might be something you would want to look into. I do try to call that out when I see it, but I also try not to call it out too much, because I don't want to be like, fix the sprites. Like, that's not who I am, so... And I really like Altica, which I say all the time, but I do think Altica is the best tile set. We're going to fall back at this point. When they stack up on each other like this, zombies actually... So all zombies have a bash ability. They can smash things around them. I think all of them can do it. And most enemies can as well. Non-animals, I'm pretty sure like nether creatures can smash as well. But anyway, zombies have this thing called group bash. And what that means is that when they are surrounded by other enemies, their bash attack actually gets stronger. This is why you cannot just stack up a ton of enemies behind a rebar fence here and they'll never break it, because the reality is everyone that gathers around them makes them stronger, so they're more likely to get through. And then obviously tougher enemies like a Hulk or a Brute have much higher ability to smash items. So I think we'll just back off, let them kind of mill about for a minute, see if any of them die. What is this thing? What is this? Oh, it's that slime again. It's just overlapping another sprite. You know what? You're not bleeding to get... Well, you have heavy arterial. Okay, there we go. We'll target the tough zombie. That too, zombies can push each other out of the way. Larger zombies are more likely to push enemies out of their way. And then this bio operator also has quite a bit of attack to him, and we need to be very mindful of him. Him alone, I suspect, can break the barricade. Unfortunately, I can't get a shot on him due to the metal doors, so I think I will just fall back in anticipation of them making it through, and they have done so. Now we're going to focus the bio operator. He is the priority for sure, and again, we really need to keep an eye on that shocker for when he darts around the corner again. The last thing we saw from that creature was that it was attacking a manhack, so not really sure what their deal is or what he's doing in there. But we do need to be a bit mindful of that. And then additionally, remember, all of these creatures have the possibility to drop CBMs, or previously had the possibility to drop CBMs. That has all been removed. So even though we found a bio operator, the main benefit of finding a bio operator is that they have really good CBMs. And then this was literally right before we got here, there was a change that removed all of that. So we're not getting value out of any of these zombies. It's a huge waste of our time to be clearing them out. They are just meaningless at this point. So scientist zombies do have a small chance of dropping. It's actually not that small of a chance. They have a decent chance. So you're definitely going to zap me as soon as you come around the corner. Let's step back. If I can get a shot off and then just run away, because he's already... You did it, you son of... I really thought I could get to him. I thought I could get one shot off because he's already injured. One shot could possibly kill him, and at the very least he would be bleeding and we could just fall back. He did die, so that's good news. I'm just... the scientist zombies, they have a small chance of dropping sterile CBMs just in their inventory. That has not yet been removed, although I'm sure it's on the chopping block. I'm really displeased with these changes. I feel like they needed to happen in order for us to move to the new CBM system, which is totally fine. I'm excited for the new CBM system. The problem is I don't feel like they needed to be removed now, because essentially you removed a bunch of content before you added the new content. You should have added the new content and then removed the old content. That way we had a consistent gameplay experience. And I'm pretty unhappy about that. I think it was just like a flat out bad decision. And I'm trying not to be salty about it. You know, today I was, yesterday, so just to give a little story. So I do that update show. It's called Experimental Cataclysm. The majority of you who watch this probably are aware of that and watch that show. It's the most popular ongoing series on my channel. You know, I get double or triple or quadruple the numbers I get on my Let's Plays for that, which makes sense. There are more people who follow the game development than who want to watch me play, essentially. I'm not for everyone, definitely. And yeah, so I do this show, and I talked about it in my show, and yesterday, so I recorded the audio for that yesterday and started the really arduous editing process. And I realized that I was being super, like, aggro about it. I was really mad about it. I've been going through some stuff in my personal life. You know, I just mentioned, like, 3 or 4 episodes ago, I said, hey, things are great. I'm doing great. And then it just sort of collapsed around me. And life is not so good right now. And so I've been very irritable in my personal life. I've been very just family stuff, man. We found out more about my brother. I don't know if he's awake. I don't want to talk too loud about it. We found out more about his sentence and what he's going to look at for, like, charges and how long he's going to be in prison. And it was just a whole thing. And now it's rapidly approaching. We expect he'll go in like another month and be sentenced. So, you know, we're not doing super great around the house. There's a lot of stuff up in the air. There's some family stuff. They want to basically throw like a party for him, which is like such a weird thing to do. It's like, I know they're not celebrating him leaving. They're celebrating like, hey, we love you. We want you to be safe. You know, this is like our final goodbye until you go. But it's a whole complicated situation, and I have a lot of really complex feelings towards my brother after him putting us through a lot of the things he's put us through and what I view as abusive behavior and things like that. So it's been a real weird situation. So I recorded that episode and I was just irritable because I'm dealing with stuff in my personal life, and I was like, this isn't fair. You know, it's not that bad of a change. I'm being too aggressive. I shouldn't be like this. I should be, you know, just delivering the facts, basically. So this morning, when I first woke up, I woke up and was like, okay, you were way too aggressive yesterday. Let's fix this. So I recorded a new thing today, and I now have it ready. It should be uploaded tomorrow. Although by the time you see this, it'll be up for a couple of days. And yeah, I'm not thrilled about the change. I'm not really thrilled about the state of Cataclysm at the moment. This is another example, by the way. We've probably killed at this point probably like 35 enemies. If I just take a quick look here. 1 corpse. Oh, there's no good way to do this. Let's do it this way. And look for corpse. No. Oh, this menu's not searchable anymore? Really? Oh, because I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, corpse. I don't think this is all of them. 14, 15, 18, 20. Yeah, so like around 30 enemies we've already killed. And generally in these labs, I think it makes sense that there would be a decent number of people. I think the majority of them should be scientists, but again, someone is working to expand that so that there are more types of zombies in labs and things like that. So I don't have a huge issue with there being like 30 or 40 people in here, but it's my opinion that that's probably the most you're gonna see. How many people are in a small science lab, really? And I suspect by the time we're done here, we're gonna kill like 120 enemies. Wow, we're really deep in the electricity. That is a huge bummer. You're not injured, so you're gonna take 2 shots. So this might be hard to get off the second shot before you zap me again. We did kill them. We're not taking a ton of damage. The only thing that's touched us so far, what was that? Red text? Zombie triggers a pit. Oh, that's not a big deal. The damage we're taking is pretty minimal. That's the only thing that's hit us so far is the electricity. But remember, again, I just suspect there are so many more enemies in here. And this is not fun. You know, this is not my idea of fun. But this is what we have to do, apparently, with the current stage of endgame. There's really nothing else we can do to get access to some of these materials. So this is what we're doing. I'm getting a little concerned. We're on our way to using up our 3rd magazine, so I'm a little concerned. Oh, you're a skeletal zombie. We're not going to be able to hit you as hard. That's not great. That's going to give them a chance to get out here a little bit. So I'm getting a little concerned. We're on our 3rd magazine already. I'm a little worried that we're not going to be able to reload when we run out of ammunition fully here. What I could be doing is instead of shooting them constantly, and I should be using the P command, it will make this so much faster than manually aiming. I should have been doing that the whole time. My concern is we're not going to be able to reload that magazine when we run out of things. From the east you hear blam, so that's good news. Actually, that's bad news. Blam is not a turret. I mean, it could be, I guess, if it was like a 50 cal. But blam probably means it's a UGV, which we talked about in a previous episode, and there's just no good way to easily deal with a UGV. The way I generally do it is by throwing a grenade at them, but we have pretty limited grenades, and you'll notice that as we explored here, we have not seen a single military zombie out of all of this. Oh, there's an M4 there. What had a... Oh, the bio-operators probably count as military. Huh. I bet they do. That's probably where that M4 came from. He also has a M9 Beretta on him. The issue is we're running a little low on ammunition, and we only have 2 grenades. We did bring them with us, but they are all we have in the way of grenades. Let's pick up the rest of these magazines. Heard blam. Remember also the UGV has a limited number of shots. So if we can get them to expend a lot of its ammunition on zombies, we may be able to kill it. Problem is it probably has about 30 rounds. I believe they come with an M16 magazine. You know, obviously they have variable magazines, so it's not necessarily based on magazine size. I want to say they have like 26 shots or 24 shots. It's some weird number. I don't think it's an even number. Let's have a look at our ammunition. Let's reload our magazine, by the way. So we have those 6 full magazines. The zombies don't seem terribly interested in us at the moment. They were distracted by the gunshots. Let's take a moment to reload. Heard blam, ignore. So that's 3 rounds. We're not going to count the shots. Actually, we just heard 3 in a row there. That's interesting. Yes, let's stop for the hazmat. Oh, why are you so fast, bruh? So we'll put you down. Use the P command. Yeah, and I was going to say we'll just walk around till you die. And of course we have to pulp so many corpses, which is going to take a bunch of time on its own. Let's take out the boomer here. And we'll go back to reloading. Oh, are they all full now? They are not. So why didn't you reload that like you did the other ones? No longer fits in your inventory. That's weird because a magazine, whether it has bullets in it or not, is exactly the same size. So okay, we're going to push up a bit here, I think, at this point, and see if we can get eyes on the inside. Actually, we should start pulping. It's going to be a time-consuming process. Let's sort through. Actually, we should use the sorting command. It will make this much faster. I really wish... I even considered, by the way, I considered making a mod that re-adds their bionics so that we could still get... Yeah, where are you? You're all pretty deep, but you have seen me, so let's just wait around until they come over here. There's a security guard as well. He will have some military style gear on him. Problem is he won't have grenades, which is what I really want at the moment, because that UGV, I can't think of a better way to deal with it. We'll try to avoid it in general instead of engaging with it, but there may not be an option. We may have to kill the thing or die. In fact, now that I think about it, let's pick up the grenades so we have them in our inventory when the time comes. We have a new group of zombies coming. So we'll just start plinking rounds in here. Super exciting, super fun. Yeah, I thought about making a mod that re-adds the bionics the way they used to be. Wouldn't take too much time to do that. It just felt like I shouldn't do that because I do play for you all to watch me, which, you know, obviously is something that, do I want you to come over here? Getting the sludge trails would make it easier to deal with zombies once we enter the building, but I actually think that it's just going to be annoying. So let's just take some rounds, send them down there at you. Yeah, you know, obviously I play primarily on YouTube for you all to watch me play, and it seemed kind of disingenuous to add such a thing. You probably want to see me play with standard settings, so I don't necessarily want to do that. I mean, I do want to do that. That's what I would do if I were playing for my own personal enjoyment. I would re-add those things because I think it was premature to remove them. But it just seemed like not the right thing to do for YouTube. So we're going to push up here. We're going to start pulping again. And again, we don't need to look at the corpses. We will use the sorting zone to sort them because there are just so many of them. Unfortunately, no grenades. That was the one thing I wanted to look at here. They would be listed at the top, I believe. Military ID card doesn't really do much for us. We would be looking for a science ID card. They did come with some MREs. Yeah, no grenades. We can do a quick search just to make sure I didn't miss them. That's fine. No. I would like to leave the pit intact. You know what? I think we've cleared enough. Let's stand around for a minute. Yeah, I think we've cleared enough at this point that we can just fill this pit in. It was working to our advantage. Remember, they do slow down when they cross pits and things. Did not mean to bring my spear over here. Let's pull that out so I don't lose track of that in my endeavor here. Put that down here, tab over, give me the spear, and we will haul that back. I could switch to the spear to conserve a little bit of ammunition. I don't think that's strictly necessary. Now we're going to use the E key, examine the pit, and it will prompt us to place a plank over the pit. We'll hit yes. So this removes the pit, which means we can now safely walk on that tile. But again, we no longer can use that to our advantage in slowing down zombies. Yes, we will stop every single time we see an enemy, even if they're not near us, because we don't want to get surprised by, we don't want to hit ignore and then find out that the UGV came around the corner. Because if we hit ignore, it might ignore the message about the UGV, and we really need to be aware of that. I don't even know for sure that it's a UGV. I'm just assuming that it is. Oh, hello, you sprang up around the corner. Good for you. Anybody else? Doesn't look like it, so we'll continue pulping. And we'll step foot in here again. We're going to peek around corners. Yes, obviously they descended to the south as they were kind of being lured towards the entrance here. And again, we're going to be real cautious because I'm not familiar with these labs and I really don't want to get surprised. Looks like this is a dead end to the north here. Not sure why I can't see this wall tile. That's fine. And we'll check down here. Really, you were in there the whole time? There was one in this little glass and oh, I can't even get in there. I thought this was like a viewing room that was locked so you can't get in. But it's not. It's only available from the inside. So this is like, I presume, is like a security thing. So you have the gate here, obviously is the main access to the lab. And then you would position a security officer up front to verify that people coming in and out are relevant. I don't know if that makes sense with the kind of lore of this subway station. Like someone pointed out in my comments that they would have to mark these on the map, because I commented like, why would they mark their secret facility on the map? And they pointed out that like obviously they have to, right? Because there are going to be maintenance workers down here. There are going to be people who see the exterior of this, and they would want that to appear to be a normal, functional whatever. However, it doesn't really track with that when you have a security guy sitting out front monitoring everyone who goes by. And I don't really get the floodlights being up front here. I'm grateful that they're there. It was nice to have the light, but yeah. Oh, also the pit here with a plank on it doesn't seem to have a sprite, I guess, if you're interested. So let's, it's too early to loot. Let's fall back here. Let's pulp like we said we were going to. Herd blam, ignore. Pulp all the corpses. Where do we see? We see, by the way, I mean, look at this. We've cleared 50 enemies at this point. 24, 29, 33, 41. Like, we've cleared 50 enemies here. And I suspect there are many, many more. And and that too, like, I know people place monsters. There's 2 enemies in here minimum. I don't really know what they're doing in there or why they're not security zombies. So I don't really get what the point of this place is if it's not a security checkpoint. But anyway. So let's, do we want to sort stuff now? We're at 26 minutes. Why don't we do that really quick? Let's just make a couple of zones that we know we want. So we'll make some guns. Put some gun stuff. You know what? We can just do a lot of those on the same tile. It doesn't really matter. So we'll just dump guns, weapons, books are one we're going to want. And we can use these zones probably even if we're deeper in the facility. So we'll just do this now. Make a tools pile. We will make a bionics pile. Hopefully some of these scientist zombies had some bionics on them. What else do we want? Probably nothing. Probably nothing else. Guns, weapons, I guess ammo and all that is separate. I wish there was one unified pile that was just like, hey, by the way, here's everything relating to guns. But we don't have that luxury, unfortunately. So that should be fine, and then we'll add an unsorted zone. And this is the real beauty of the zone manager is that it can save you a lot of these tedious key presses. Because back in the day, you would have to sift through everything one at a time. And this is just much faster. Herd blam. So we're down about 6 rounds in that particular whatever the weapon is. If it's a turret, obviously they're going to have way more ammunition. If it's UGV, they're probably about a quarter of the way through their ammo, I think. So what did we get? Oh, we got an autoclave right off the bat. Highly valuable, which is something we were after. So I'm super glad to see that. We're going to need autoclave pouches. Ooh, which I bet are considered containers. Let's add a container group. That way, if there are autoclave pouches and they're containers, I mean, we can check really quick in the debug menu. So if I go to search and I search for autoclave pouch is considered other. That should probably be changed to either tool or container. Let's re-enable achievements. So now we know we need to make an other category, which is a bummer because there's a lot of items that fit any other category that we don't care about at all. So that is a bit of a bummer, but we'll go ahead and do that and we'll sort out any remaining items. Hopefully we found some pouches as well. Ignore. Sorted out every possible item. Okay, let's go back and check. Containers. Apparently MREs are also considered containers, which I should have thought about. The MREs, I didn't even consider that. We did get some autoclave pouches. That's fantastic. Apparently corpses are considered other as well. That's part of why the other category is such a huge pain in the butt. Because obviously we don't care about sorting corpses. And what's funny is that it did not sort every single corpse. It just sorted a handful of them. Oh, I bet the tile's full. Where do I see the... I bet it's full. How do I... It's this menu. Check that tile. Yeah, you'll see we actually filled the tile completely with corpses. So what we can do... Oh, how do we do this? We can remove the other... Edit type. Go to custom. No, there's no way to do that easily. How do you do this, internet? We're looking for custom zone, which is custom. Make it custom. We'll filter it. There's no way to filter by category, is there? Is there a question? We can't. There's no help menu here. Can I? Add, remove, enable, disable, show, hide, distant, map. Oh no, I don't care about that. If we hit enter, it brings this up. Edit filter, minus corpse, maybe? Let's do that. And then let's pull all the corpses out and see if it, oh, we have to do this. It's gonna blink every time. Okay, well that's not annoying or anything. Okay, so we pulled out the corpses. Now if I sort, are you still gonna pull corpses? Let's see what happens. Spotted, yes, we're gonna stop every time, remember. Let's have a look here. Why are these? So it removed the other tag. Okay, so there's no good way to do this. So basically, originally we had it set up to be other, so that it would only put others in this pile. And when I added a filter to remove corpses, it actually negated the category, so it's not sorting other items anymore. That's a huge pain in the butt, man. I don't understand why corpses are... I mean, I guess everything has to have a category. Someone should really add new categories to be a little more specific. Like here we have ID cards as well. They should be their own category. They should be like cards and money or something like that. Should get their own category. Because there's no good way to do this without piling up corpses in this thing. So that's a bummer. Here we have CBM installation data for titanium skeletal bracing. I believe what you do with this, you take it with you to an auto dock, and then if you're installing that particular CBM, you get a bonus to the possible installation. So it really stinks. Maybe I just don't know how categories work, but I'm very disappointed that that is trying to sort literally everything, and then I wasn't paying attention, and now I'm face to face with a hazmat zombie. So let's put you down. Haul you out of here. Ignore. And yeah, that's not super great. We did find an autoclave pouches. Those are very good finds. We obviously found some weapons here. Doesn't look like any ammo. Doesn't look like we got any ammo, which is a bummer. We did find some books, including some of the mutagen books, so that's something. All right, and I think we're gonna leave this here. Internet, I know this wasn't a super fun episode. We did end up standing around shooting zombies for about 30 minutes. Them's the breaks. That's, you know, part of the game. We killed probably 50 enemies. How many enemies have we killed in the game so far? 1,092. How about that? We're really racking up those kills. All right, for now, everybody, thank you for watching. This is the end of the video. I will be back with more Cataclysm content in the near future, and I'll see you in the next video.